What's good, YouTube? It's Nas. I'm back with another video. Roll the 300 subscribers, of course. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Mr. Big Shot himself and Chauncey Billups. And I'm surprised I didn't make a Chauncey Billups video already. And Chauncey Billups right now is the coach of the Trailblazers, who he has winning games. But Chauncey, as a player, he was fundamentally sound. Like, he had the three-pointer. He could get by you, get to the layup, go get a layup. He had the mid-range game. And he was ultimately the closer for that crazy defensive team with the Detroit Pistons. But it took a while for his career to get on track to become the NBA legend that he is. But let's just get to his career. Like, in the 1997-1998 season, he played for the Toronto Raptors, where he averaged 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. I had no idea he played for the Raptors. That just shows how long it took for his career to get on track for real. And it's crazy that Detroit really awakened that out of him, because he played 6 or 7 seasons before he got to Detroit, and he was not the player that he wanted to be, and he ultimately proved that in the 1997-1998 season with the Boston Celtics. He averaged 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. In the 1999 season, he played with the Denver Nuggets, where he averaged 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Again, not really doing anything at all, not being mentioned at all. Just really a good role player at the moment, I would say. He was still averaging 30 to 25 through 33 minutes, I would say, per night at this point in his career. In the 1999-2000 season, he only played 13 games, where he averaged 8.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 3 assists. The very next season, he was on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 2000-2001 season, where he averaged 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. The next season, on the Minnesota Timberwolves again, he averaged 12.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. And this would be the season before he would go to Detroit and change his whole career. Like, it's crazy that Detroit really changed how he was viewed as a player, because it just fit him. In the 2002-2003 season, first season in Detroit, he averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. And these stats are not saying nearly enough what Chauncey Billups was doing, because Chauncey Billups in the clutch was one of the best players in the league. And let's not just say in the clutch, because period, he was one of the best guards in the league at this moment. This was before CP obviously would come to the league. So I guess if you would say, if you would say, I would say Jason Kidd was the best guard in the NBA at this moment, or best point guard, I would say, at this moment. But in the very next season, in the 2003-2004 season, where obviously he won his finals MVP, he averaged 17 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. And it's crazy, like, he went from not scoring above 14 points per game to, as soon as he got to Detroit and he got the opportunity to shine, he did this immediately, and they upset the Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal Lakers, which really wasn't expected. But that Detroit defense was fucking crazy. And having Chauncey Billups, the lineup of Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, yeah, it was Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace. Them niggas was grit, and they end up winning that series. But in the 2004-2005 season, he averaged 16.5 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. I'm pretty sure they made the finals again, if I'm not mistaken, but they lost this time to the Spurs. But in the 06-07 season, he averaged on the 05-06 season, my bad, he averaged his highest. He had his best season, I would say. He averaged 18.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. And I forgot to mention, like, he's one of the best defensive point guards of all time. He's made many defensive teams. Like, I'm pretty sure he averaged over a steal per game. I'm gonna get it right now, because I'm not really too confident in that. But all I know is he made defensive teams, so it just showed how good of a defensive player he was at 6'3". Like, he wasn't a tall guard at all. Like, now he didn't average 2 steals. He was just average 1 steal. But his lockdown defensive defense on the perimeter without getting steals and without getting blocks, and he made all defensive team. Usually when I see players that make all defensive teams. They have the stats, the steals, and the blocks to go with it. But Chauncey Billups didn't have that. He was just playing lockdown defense, and the league saw it for what it was at that moment. In the next season, the 2006-2007 season, he averaged 17 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. And them not doing nothing again. Or I can't remember if this was the season they made the finals, but it was either or of those seasons. In the 2007-2008 season, he averaged 17 points, 2.5 rebounds, basically 7 assists. And this was basically his last season in Detroit before obviously getting traded for Allen Iverson, which would mark the end of Chauncey Billups' career in Detroit. And he's one of the best players to ever play for the Detroit Pistons, leading them into a finals MVP. But in 2 games with Detroit in the 08-09 season before getting traded, he averaged 12.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. In the same season where he got traded to the Denver Nuggets in the 08-09 season, he averaged 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 6.5 assists, playing with Carmelo Anthony, and him being the point guard that Melo needed. Like, Allen Iverson was, I wouldn't say the better player I would say the better scorer. AI was never a point guard, and Melo needed a point guard to facilitate that Denver Nuggets offense, and ultimately getting Chauncey Billups, a proven winner, really helped out the Denver Nuggets, them making the conference finals that season, which not a lot of people know. Melo made the conference finals, and Chauncey Billups was a major part of that. But in the next season, they ended up losing this season to Kobe Bryant, and Kobe obviously went on to win his first championship without Shaquille O'Neal. But in the 09-2010 season, he averaged his highest points per game. He averaged 19.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. Again, not really doing anything. In the 2010-2011 season, he averaged 16.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists before ultimately getting traded to the New York Knicks. I can't remember. I think he was in the Melo trade, but he averaged 17.5 points, 3 rebounds, and 5.5 assists in his first season in New York. And I'm pretty sure they made the playoffs that season. Yeah, they made the playoffs this season. This would be his last season looking like Chauncey Billups. In the 2011-2012 season, he averaged 15 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. In the 2012-2013 season, he averaged 8.5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And in his last season in the NBA, in the 2013-2014 season, he averaged 4 points, 1.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And in the finals, where he won the finals, he averaged 21 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds, which in 5 games, they beat that Lakers team in 5 games. That just showed he rose to the occasion when it was time for the big moment. But Chauncey Billups' accolades speak for themselves. He's a 2004 NBA champion, Finals MVP in 2004, 5-time All-Star in 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009, and 2010 for 5 straight years, which is crazy. All-NBA second team in 2006, All-NBA third team in 2007, 2009. 2-time NBA All-Defensive second team in 2005, 2006. And it just showed, that's what I said, that Chauncey Billups is an all-time great. And he was inducted to the Hall of Fame a couple years ago. Not even a couple years ago. Last year he was inducted to the Hall of Fame. I had to remember that. But I just wanted to talk about Mr. Big Shot. But let me know how y'all feel about Chauncey Billups down below. Subscribe.
What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video and y'all enjoyed it, subscribe, because posting daily, and there's a video right there on the right or on the left if you haven't watched it already.